Hey YouTube, DanOttawa here, the best third/fourth tier Pokemon Go battler in the world. And today, in a few hours, I am facing PokeDaxi in the PvP tournament. And it's going to be tough because I looked at the teams. So I'm going to take you through looking at the teams, my just like looking at the Pokemon, my initial thoughts, and then running through PvPoke, and then how I had to adjust PvPoke for one reason, and I'll show you that. So basically, teams are he has Melmetal, Whiscash, Drapion, Noctowl, Frostlass, Obstagoon, Sylveon, Marshtop. I have a Ninetales, Jellicent, Pelipper, Beedrill, Munchlax, Ninetales, Hitmontop, and Electrode. And the first thing I noticed with this team is he has a lot of answers for my Pokemon, right? Because he has Melmetal that can hit for super effective with Rock Slide on Ninetales, and Pelipper, and um, Superpower on Munchlax, and then um, you get into Whiscash and Marshtop, which have the ground type moves for my Ninetales and my Electrode. And then you have Drapion that will do well against my Jellicent, and Noctowl that will wall my Jellicent essentially, an Obstagoon that deals with Jellicent, and a counter use. So like it's gonna be tough. And then I was like, okay, so let's actually just go through the PvP rankings in the one shield. And then I look at this, and you have a Ninetales with a 6-2 record, Ninetales with a 5-3 record, Jellicent with a 5-3 record, and I'm like, no way. There's no way that's right. So this is in the one shield. So again, for those of you who have never used PvPoke before, how it works is um, it's a scale from 0 to 1,000. So the closer to 1,000 that you are, the more you're going to just dominate the match. And the closer to 0 you are, the more you're just going to like lose hard. Uh, so what this is essentially saying is like, oh yeah, you're a Ninetales, you're gonna win a bunch, and like 600 is not like a that's a decent sized win there. Obviously, it's not like 800 like the Frostlass and Ninetales matchup, so you're gonna dominate there. Um, but I'm like, you're telling me that yeah, Justin could beat Frostlass, but I guess like Sylveon, like this is very bait dependent. And same with the Ninetales, even the Ninetales at 6-2, I'm like, there's no way a Powder Snow Ninetales is beating a Frostlass straight up unless you land that Weather Ball bait and then you land the Dazzling Gleam. So then what I did was I threw in the no baiting. So if what you essentially do is you flip a switch and it says, okay, you're not going to be like baiting and they're not going to like fall for it. And then it switched. And then suddenly my Ninetales went from 6-2 to 3-5. And suddenly my Jellicent went from 5-3 to 3-5 as well. So it essentially comes down to if you don't bait properly, you lose a lot more. And taking the baiting game, like I drop like Pelipper, same thing. Like with the weather balls, they're good at spamming 4-4, but you need to land a hurricane. So then you're down 2-6. So and then that's kind of what I thought. Like so I think this second table is more accurate of what I'm going to be facing. Because I was like, yes, Ninetales is going to have a good matchup. Yeah, like, and there's a Frostlass switch, right? If you don't bait, if they call the bait, you lose. Or if they shield you Dazzling Gleam, you're going to lose that matchup. Same thing with the Sylveon. Same thing with the Marshtop. You can't just go straight Weather Balls or you're going to lose in the one shield. So that made this much worse. So looking at this team, looking at both, because you should look at both. There's one thing that like obviously stood out to me. That's Ninetales. Love my Ninetales. Kanto Ninetales. That is. Just against the super effective against Melmetal, super effective against Frostlass, can hang with Noctowl, can hang with Drapion, like Sylveon, Walls, Charmers. So I think Ninetales is going to be on the majority of my teams. Plus, it does like even though it loses the other ones. So like, problem is they have two. He has two ground, Whiscash and Marshtop, which as you can see there in the Electrode, I kind of knew that was coming. So I'd have to pair it with something that can beat those two. So like a Jellicent, like Jellicent a not like Jellicent Ninetales could be an okay core, right? Because your Jellicent will do decent against the ground, and then the Ninetales will cover its weaknesses. And then I'm using Pelipper, like it's down 2-6. It's still an okay safe swap. The problem is like Beedrill just between the Frostlass and the Noctowl and the Whiscash, like there's not like a good matchup there. So I don't think I'll be using Beedrill. Munchlax I can use. Like it's about evenish overall. And Munchlax as a safe swap is not bad. Like outside of the Obstagoon and the Noctowl, because the Noctowl right? So this was kind of my team building fault, right? Like the Munchlax has Lick and Jellicent has Hex. So those are both ghosts. So I have two ghost things that are going to be resisted by normal. Two with my Ninetales and Electro being going to be double weak to ground, which his team can do well against. He has the Melmetal. Melmetal's tricky, right? But Melmetal is spammy AF. So my initial thought is him on top. Same thing. Him on top I can use too because it has like really good matchups against a lot of Pokemon in the one shield. If there's no beta, even the non-betas has a good matchup. But if you run into a Frostlass or Noctowl, which looking at his like so this my win comes is left, like left to right. His is essentially up and down. So looking at this, I expect the Noctowl and Frostlass to be out in full force. Um, and then he'll combo. He can like Drapion safe swap. Like he can run Melmetal and just like on the lead and spam, and then reset on Frostlass or Noctowl. Um, I know Frostlass is a great safe swap. Marshtomp even has some play here. So I don't know. It's going to come down to team building. It's going to come down to leads. I think my Ninetales is going to have play. I don't think my Jellicent is going to have as much play. I think Munchlax has some play. I'll try him on top. Um, the also problem is with this team is, and I knew this doing the draft. You need unique Pokemon. So I cannot run Kanto Ninetales and A Ninetales at the same time. So if that's I knew that like part of me was like, "Ugh, I already drafted A9. I should just like draft something like Cast Form, Sunny Cast Form later, so I had the Fire User that I can put on the same team. But I love Kanto Ninetales, so I'm like, no, I'll just draft it and not put them on the same team. So I can't do both Ninetales on the same team, which is part of the game. Like you can try doing it, it will not allow you to do it, even in practice battles. So that is going to limit me a bit there. So I got to build against Noctowl and Frostlass to a certain extent, plus cover. Since I know my Ninetales can do well there, I expect the Whiscash and Marshtomp to be there as well to take me out there. So battles going live in, depending if you watch when you're watching this, coming live 11 a.m. today, Thursday. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, and then wish me luck because then I have Purple Kyogre and Tho coming up in my next two battles. So it's gonna be I need to win. I think looking at the league, like five five people in each group, I'm gonna need a 3-2. I mean, 4-1 realistically, but maybe a 3-2 if like Tho or someone sweeps like our group. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in a few hours.